Here I am. It is Greggy P. Greggy P. Yeah, you know me. And I'm back with a podcast. So, hey, how's it going today? Today is Friday, and I hope you're having a great Friday. Good morning. Frankie, say hello. Look at the fat cat. Look at the fat cat. He's excited. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Because I actually have more topics to talk about today instead of just, rambling like I always kind of do. And you know what? Some great topics, kind of more relevant to what I've been talking about, how this is just a new podcast. Like I said last time, this is me just trying to get out of my comfort bubble of not talking to a camera and just being a really quiet person in general. If you're watching, that's great, but here's me kind of yelling into a microphone for a bit, and I hope it's not too loud. So loud. But yeah, no, it really is me just trying to be consistent in recording. Like I said in the last time, I'm live streaming because I don't want to save all these files to my desktop or my computer and just fill that. So I'm just using the data centers that are going up, whether we like it or not, to hold all my videos that of me just talking to nobody. So here we are. Getting into the conversation of being a content creator versus a content consumer. I recently just started using a feature on my phone that I'm sure plenty of people use, where it's a app timer where you can only use so much data on your phone, or not data on your phone, but only use an app for a certain amount of time. So I put so the other day I decided to put a 1 hour timer on the app that I use the most, which is Reddit. I don't know about how you use Reddit, but for me, using Reddit is literally doom scrolling to the max. I used to claim that I use it to get my news. I use it to stay up to date with whatever topics I find interesting. When I started thinking about creating a podcast, I was like, I will just look up different subreddits and kind of create content around those ideas. Obviously there's no good ideas anymore, no new ideas. So one of the ideas I was going to steal was somebody would look at, am I the a-hole? And then they would kind of go over the topic of the conversation and decide whether or not that person was an a-hole or not. I was going to look at our advice and just give my unsolicited advice to a stranger, to whoever watches this video, and not actually reply to the Reddit poster. But you know what? I just kind of want to use it actually for news. So when I did set that timer, the 1 hour timer on Reddit, it was early in the morning, and it turned out that I had already scrolled for like an hour and a half after I got home from work at like 1 in the morning. So I wasn't even able to use Reddit pretty much that day. So that's how much I use it. I literally it's literally one of those apps that I just scroll instead of sleeping. It turns out. So yeah. No, I don't. I did look at Reddit today. To get some news, some ideas for what to talk about. And like I said earlier, pretty prevalent with the whole conversation of social media consuming. I saw on the news that a New Mexico court has ruled that Meta is to pay over $500 million in fines for basically creating an addicting app, from what it looks like, my understanding. I've seen ads recently that if you can basically file a suit against major apps like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, basically for creating negative mental health effects for you. Because I remember back when I started Facebook, or started my first Facebook, I was basically going into high school. So this is like 2007, 2008. And, for the amount of time that I spent on Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter is just really sad because I didn't have that many friends. Like, I spent probably more hours a day just scrolling than actually talking to people. I actually miss, like, the chat. I would chat some people up. Facebook used to have a chat feature instead of the messenger. Um, you know, and but more often than not, the most communication was just blowing up somebody's one picture with a million comments than actually chatting to people. And but yeah, no, I definitely spent way too much time on social media for my own mental health. Um, and unfortunately, the ads that I've been seeing say you have to be 25 or younger in order to file a suit. And you also have to be diagnosed, and I refuse to go to a doctor. So I've never been diagnosed with any kind of mental illness. Chalk that up. And why is my computer buzzing? It's not buzzing, it's pinging notifications. And as long as I'm still streaming, that's all that really matters. So, yeah, pretty interesting how, it's coming to fruition that basically the courts are ruling that these social media apps and all that are actually pretty destructive for people's mental health. So much that people can get money for it. So, not me. Oh well. Anyway, hopefully I can make money off of this way. But main goal is just to get myself out there, just to put out a million videos without a single viewer. I mean, that'd be there's got to be a Guinness World Record for most videos of actual original content without any viewer engagement. And I'm going to be that guy, But then once I get the record, I'm sure people will subscribe and ruin it for me. So, wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. In local news, there is definitely a bumblebee hive underneath my back porch. I love the bumblebees. They're definitely the least threatening of all the bees, including wasp and hornets. They're the only ones I see and, can relate because they look overweight. I'm not overweight. I used to be, but that's okay. No, I enjoy seeing the bumblebees kind of fly underneath and then going underneath the concrete patio. I'm hoping my little flower bed grows so that they can get some pollen. We're all trying to save the bees nowadays, is the word. Big honey fan. Let me know in the comments if you're a big honey fan. Save them bees, get that honey. Other local news: there is an albino squirrel living in my neighborhood, so we stocked it in the car, and to get some pictures of it yesterday. Didn't look up if that's you ever look up superstitious things and like what's the meaning of having a full moon after it rains, or what does it mean if a plastic bag flies into my car windshield? Google that. What does it mean to have an albino squirrel? What's the superstitions on that? Didn't Google that because it's not mumbo jumbo, but it is mumbo jumbo. So, in other local news, I cut my own hair. Big reveal there. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. All you subscribers, you millions and millions of viewers right now. Cut my own hair. Trimmed up the sides. Try to go for that modern look that's really trendy and cool nowadays, called the modern mullet, supposedly. The kids at work say I look real cool, and my boss said it looked good, so I'm going to shave it all off because I don't care what anybody thinks. Just kidding. I do care. No, I'm not going to shave it off. I did see a video by someone that I mentioned last week, and I forget his name. One of those guys that talks about creating content and how to be, one of those people that always is super busy all the time, and, how to be super purposeful with every single moment of your life and how to act with intent. What was his name? It was something Co. Dan Co. Yeah. He was talking about how he shaves his head, and once in a while. And, basically, I had the same thought. He said he was going to shave his head because he was going to be bald and he wanted to get used to the look of being bald. And then he's like, my hair kept growing. And I'm like, oh, how relatable. And I haven't shaved my head since 8th grade, and I didn't shave it back then because I didn't think I was gonna go bald soon. But I'm getting to that point where I'm like, oh wow, look how great that bald spot on my head looks. And I I'm not going bald yet, but might as well have a couple trendy haircuts before it's gone. So it's called a modern mullet. Did it myself. People say it looks all right, and then they're surprised when I say I cut it myself. And you know what? I think it looks like I cut it myself because the lines aren't as clean. But you know what? Like this podcast, hopefully one day, sometimes you think you did a half butt job, and then someone comes along and says, hey, hey, that's pretty good. You didn't do that bad of a job. So, yeah. And then I think, kind of going into that kind of doing trendy stuff as, you become as you become older. I think it's important to try and stay with the times. I think it's important to just kind of be not old. I realize that, it's only old people that tend to say all music sucks nowadays. So I try to, listen to new music, try to not hate new actors, even if I think they're bad and they're in every single movie. I try. I say I try. I end up doing that. I'm not going to name names, but I'm not a whole big fan of a lot of really famous actors nowadays, to be honest. It's hard to beat Jake Gyllenhaal. No actors topped Jake Gyllenhaal in a while. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Big shout out to Jake Gyllenhaal. Anyway, so kind of going back to what Dan Coe was talking about with shaving his head. I didn't finish this video. I was literally watching it when I was on the stairs at the gym this morning, about an hour ago. And then I said, I'm done with being on the stairs, so I just kind of stopped the video and came home. So, but he was basically talking about how shaving his head helps put on that mask, that second identity for content creation, and just kind of like the aspect of warrior and monk mode. I definitely got the monk mode in my head. I definitely know how to kind of buckle down and get some inside my head and just buckle down and work. For me, that ends up looking like just going to the gym, putting in some hard work. Last couple of years, I really took up running as a hobby. I ended up running a marathon this past summer. So just getting into training and the mentality of running for that marathon really just took a whole lot to just get inside my own head and just focus. But the warrior mode, not necessarily battling or beating people up. I'm not going to the gym, like a boxing gym now, or an MMA gym, and just trying to beat the snot out of people. I think it's more of just doing the work that puts me out. This is putting in that work. Just getting outside of myself, doing something that I'm not used to, doing something that feels almost against my original personality. I really, my whole life have considered myself a quiet person, that introspective, introvert, very, self-reliant, find my own resources to get things done. And one of the hard things to realize is, which I still have a hard time with, this whole podcasting thing and this whole content creation thing, is that, you go into Napoleon Hill and he has this whole concept of the mastermind. And the idea is that, when you get more than one person, you get two people, two or more. Okay. So when you get two or more people that have the same goal, the same kind of destination that they want to go to, then they start, operating at the same frequency in order to achieve that goal. that they create what is called the mastermind. That basically the vibrations of their minds kind of meld together, and they're able to create this mind outside of themselves that they're able to, you know, work towards this one goal. And obviously, the sum parts of multiple minds is greater than just what one mind can create. And I'm working on that. There's been people I've talked to about content creation, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do this, let's do that." But it really is hard, when you have a full-time job and you have other obligations to other people, friends, family, and just it is hard to I met up with a bunch of friends from high school the other day, and I could talk about my relationship and my work and going to the gym and running that marathon. But I really didn't want to bring up the fact that I'm really trying to get a YouTube channel, a podcast going. Like, it just seems so not cringy, but like kind of like cliche almost, and not sad, but okay, good for you kind of thing. And that's why it is. I'm almost do say that as self protection, that I am doing this for myself. I'm trying to put myself out there in order to better myself, whereas versus saying I'm trying to create the next Joe Rogan experience or some other kind of crazy, like, out of there, like, ultra, like, super successful kind of business idea, when obviously it's out of my realm of, like, my expertise is out of the realm of, like, any kind of major real, like, thing that we see our friends doing or people that we're friends with. I don't know any other, like, major creators. I don't know any, like, people that I went to high school with or college with that ended up being some major content creator. It's, like, definitely something that is out of the realm of that anyone knows or experienced. So it really does seem like a lofty ideal. It's almost like saying I want to become some kind of great athlete. I wasn't, like, a major talker or, like, video creator back in high school or college. So it's like, why do it now? It's a good question. And you know what? They say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. So you got to start somewhere. Let me know in the comments if you kind of have any feelings about, not necessarily content creation, but if there's any other kind of goal where you feel like you're kind of on your own, you're kind of, like, doing it yourself, and it feels like some sort of almost unrealistic goal that you want to talk about with people. Let me know in the comments if you're watching and you have those kind of thoughts. Because we're in this together. We're out here doing it ourselves. We're not afraid of criticism, but we are. You can't be afraid of failure either, and you just gotta do the thing, do the dang thing. Anyway. What else did I write in my notes? I'm just really not trying to take this thing too seriously. As much as I am taking it seriously as far as, like, consistency and, like, not giving up, I don't want to be out here just trying to be some sort of guru, some sort of, like, this is how you take your channel to 10,000 views in 2 weeks. This is how you gain affiliation within a month. This is how you change your life. When you see this video, all the things are going to align. Like, those kind of clickbaity titles. Like, it's just, it is a lot of people doing it, and obviously it works for them. I'm not going to, like, start that, because then that's what I become. I'm really just trying to create a platform for me to make entertainment content. I'm not trying to be a content creation expert. Well, I mean, I guess I am, but not in the sense that, like, the way I'm going to make my money is by making a channel with 1 million views, and then I tell everyone watching me that, all right, now I'm going to, like, start selling courses on how to do what I did. I'd rather just basically become the face of a channel, and I just have people that tune in because I make them happy, or I'm decent background noise for half an hour to 45 minutes while they wake up in the morning and scroll on their phone, or they're making coffee in the morning and doing their dishes. I hope maybe you're driving to work right now and you're like, oh man, I really wish he fixed on that background noise while he just rambled into the microphone. That's the kind of thing that I'm hoping for. So appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you listening. My hair's been messed up, so thanks for telling me. I really hope you're enjoying the view of me and the barely natural light that's coming in through the window. It's a gloomy day. It looks a little gloomy outside, but at least it's not a million degrees outside. That's like the important part right now. Yeah. So, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, I just I'm really at a point where I feel like a lot of people probably find themselves where I'm in my early 30s still. So basically everything that I do the rest of my life for the next few years is how I'm going to be the rest of my life. It really is kind of interesting to see how people stop changing once they get to a certain age. Eventually you do get set in like a routine that becomes your everyday, whether it be work, family, your habits now are basically the habits the rest of your life. So I'm still trying to like create new habits. I'm still trying to change old ones. I growing up just being overweight, it really put in my mind that your daily habits are really a reflection of your whole life. So when I was overeating, playing video games, staying up late, not really caring about the future, that's how it really did feel. Eventually there was just a wake-up call that I had to have, that like these habits really are like what make me. I'm not gonna be in shape unless I'm working out. I'm not gonna be smarter unless I'm reading. I'm not gonna be more creative unless I create. So yeah, I've been like just taking that mentality with me throughout my life. Like I said, I ran a marathon, this past summer, and you don't just run a marathon. You have to like start running, and start with a mile. And if you haven't ran in multiple years, running a mile is not easy. Let alone running 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles, 26.2 miles. You have to work up to that, and you got to start somewhere. Talking on a podcast is just starting with me rambling, just starting to try and let the ideas flow. This is only episode 5 of the Greggy P podcast. First few episodes, I didn't really know how to figure out what content I wanted to create or how I was going to go about it. I tried just, basically make something that I was talking about earlier, where it's like, all right, these are the 7 steps for success. These are the 3 keys to achieving your goals. These are the 8 mentalities that you should have throughout the day. Like gonna name this episode the 20 virtues of being cool. Number 1, don't care. Number 2, keep everything else a secret. And that's why I can't tell you all 20 secrets of being cool. Just kidding. The third one is be really good with nicknames. If you can make cool nicknames, people really like it. Everyone wants a cool nickname. If they don't like it, they'll probably tell you. Maybe. Otherwise, just keep calling them that. Yeah. Cool nicknames. Number 4. Handshakes? No, I'm just kidding. Unless you're like a really young dude and like to dap people up and all that. Handshakes are whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I'll work on the rest of the 15. To be honest, I can't name them off the top of my head. So I'm probably not going to name the podcast that title. I really would. It would really be in this moment is occurring to me, with every other moment of podcasting that it'd be cool to have someone else here to just kind of chit chat with. I really am a listener. I think it was in Pulp Fiction. I think it's a deleted scene or something. I don't know why in my mind, I attribute this quote to some scene in Pulp Fiction, between Vince and Marcellus Wallace's wife, played by Uma Thurman. I can't remember her name in the movie right now, but they're talking, and I forget which one of them says it, but there's two types of people in this world. One is those who listen, and two is those who wait to talk, meaning that when you're having a conversation with somebody, either there's a genuine dialogue that's back and forth. One person sends out a message, the second receives it, analyzes it, and uh, throws out their own interpretation or response to that original um, topic that the first person says, and then that first person takes that response, analyzes it, and responds it back. That's two people that listen. A person that waits to talk, you'll talk. It's you could probably know what I'm talking about. If you're having a conversation with somebody, they say something and they yap, and then you're like, oh yeah, I think this, and then they start yapping about some other completely different topic, and completely disregard what you had to say. That's somebody that waits to talk, and I'm not going to say that's women, but it's there is guys too. Obviously, that was a joke. So that's just a whole mindset that I've had in my life, and like I said earlier, I'm just a very introspective, quiet person, by nature. I think maybe nurture, probably nature, undiagnosed. Remember, so yeah, I would hope to have somebody on that also loves to listen and talk and delve into bigger ideas. But for right now, it's just me, and one of the best uh, things of advice as far as how to talk into a camera that I've heard is just imagine like your best friend behind the camera, and like imagine you're talking to them. It definitely helps, like the flow, the flow of what you're talking about, the pace of what you're talking about, the comfortability of um, just being in front of a camera and recording. I also just really like rambling versus having a set script. I remember when I had that set script, it just kind of sounded like I was doing a school report, and that's boring. So, yep, I'm just rambling into the microphone at this point. I'm going to keep working on writing. I didn't really talk about everything I kind of wrote down for today, because I kind of veered off topic, and it feels kind of inappropriate to veer back to them. Also, I also kind of want a second person in the room, not just to talk to, but to kind of operate the computer, because it'd be cool to create some tier list. I like to sit on the couch. I don't want to sit next to my computer because I get too much fan noise in the background, which I already have background noise in these videos, and I'm working on it. I swear I'm not a audio technician, but I am doing my best. Yeah, some of the other topics. How is the world going insane? I was gonna talk about how the world is going to poo-poo, but you know what? I'm really trying to think positive thoughts. I'm really trying to stay in a powerful mindset. David Breyer was talking about in his podcast I was watching earlier about how there's two mindsets that you can have in life. One is a primal mindset, which is you're just basically trying to get through the day. You're kind of working through all your insecurities about life. You're very very worrisome. Uh, you worry a lot. You kind of uh, have anxiety about a lot of things. Stress about money, stress about work, stress about family, health, or your health. All those things can kind of put you in a primal mindset. And the other mindset is having a powerful mindset, a mindset that you can get through these things that life throws at you. That you can meet the expectations of your friends, family, and yourself. That you're able to conquer these things that you're worried about. That you are able to move through life with purpose and oomph. You're able to create abundance. You find abundance and you create abundance, and that's definitely what I'm trying to work on for myself. Definitely in some aspects it's easier than other parts of my life as far as working with a powerful mentality. So that's where I'm at with that. Also talking about purpose. Purpose was definitely a major topic of a couple books that I've been going through again. One of the obviously keystone self-help or self-improvement books is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I already talked about how he talked about. I talked about how he talked about having a mastermind group to help you create and reach your goals. And the other thing is, in his book, Napoleon Hill's book, A Conversation with the Devil. Also, it was put in another book that I recently started reading again. It's been about 5 years since I don't read these books. Full discretion. I just listen to them on audiobook. Helps me focus and do other stuff more. Once again, undiagnosed. Anyway, so Conversation with the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and then As a Man Thinketh. The whole way to kind of become self-fulfilled and achieve your goals is to act with purpose. Like I was saying, purpose 500 times earlier. Having a purpose, a definite goal, just creates a mindset of a powerful mindset. I believe is what they say or they believe. So, just really working on that purpose. Obviously, you can look and I can say, obviously, my purpose is keep doing my job. Do this as a side hobby, and pay the bills, start a family, do the thing that most people do. And that's not a bad purpose. It really isn't. And if I kept acting like that, or kept that as my main purpose and acted through every action that way, I probably would have a fulfilling life. I just have mental things in my head that always want more. Very unsatisfied with a lot of things. So my purpose here is to kind of create and satisfy my want for creation, and try something that if I don't try, I will always have in my mind that I never did. So that's my purpose here. Also, I've dealt with a lot of things in my life that I know a lot of people have dealt with also, or are currently going through. So just trying to maybe be an outlet for that. But yeah, so basically the opposite of acting without purpose is drifting. Basically that was in Napoleon Hill's book, Conversation with the Devil. The devil's greatest trick was just getting people to drift, just go through life without purpose, clearly. And so I'm avoiding drifting. I'm avoiding doom scrolling. I'm avoiding just not moving throughout life without purpose. So hopefully you do the same. I hope this kind of, you maybe already heard some of these concepts and ideas before. But like I said before, This is basically the purpose of this podcast is to be a synthesis of ideas that come together and create a bigger conceptualization. Maybe be a microphone for ideas that people haven't heard before. I'm sure that's the exact same thing that these people that I have mentioned before. You've heard the exact same concept from another source. Sometimes it doesn't matter on the source; it just matters on the concept of the idea. So, maybe I'll be the source of that idea for another person. And if this any of these ideas are new and they're sticking in your head, please let me know. I love to just kind of keep talking about these important things that I feel a meaningful life really needs. And I like to joke around too. So if anything I said was funny, anything I did was cool, me. I'm not cool. I mean I try to be. I gave some tips on being cool. Those are some solid tips earlier. Nicknames really people really like nicknames. So just remember that. If you come up with a cool nickname, yeah, you cool nicknames. It's a real solid tip. I might get a real soundboard someday, but let's get like five subscribers and 5 viewers, and then we'll go from there. Uh, Go ahead and subscribe. 100 subscribers, I will upload a back waxing video. That's my goal. 100 subscribers, and I will wax my back for the gram, for the YouTube, for my viewers, for my lovely viewers. So, yeah. Anything else you want to hear me talk about next time? I'm gonna try and do these 2 times a week because you know what, rambling and being incoherent isn't actually that hard, and hopefully I get better with it. Having a consistent idea that I follow for a bit, or write down, or whatever. I'm just trying to get better with this in time. So, yeah. Have a lovely day. Thanks for showing up. Goodbye. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I gotta go to work, to be honest. So have a good day. Bye.